Because right here, let me just talk a little bit about other stuff. I might feel comfortable here, but then if unconsciously, this might occur, all right? And where are you looking now?
Hands.
Yeah, are you listening to me? I don't know. A little, but not much. Yeah, this here. The same things as my ring, or if I had something to play with, or if I was here. After a while, now I'm not saying that any of the things that I'm telling you is perfect, and I'm not also offering that anything that if you don't do it, you're wrong. It's appropriateness, it's kind of filling out the audience, but there are some benchmarks and benchmarks of just engaging others, and this is one of them. Yeah.
I had a question. What if, what if you're in a meeting and you're all sitting down and you're not standing up? Where is a good place to keep your hands, and how should you keep your legs?
Okay. So if you're sitting down for whatever reason, keep your hands above the table. And kind of check this out later. If your hands are underneath the table, involuntarily the shoulders kind of go down. You don't do it on purpose, it just kind of goes, all right? So keep those hands above the table. And the other reason is that if they're above the table, you're able to do gestures. You can't, what are you doing down here? You don't want to go there. So you want to keep them above the table so you can do some gestures. The other thing is that keep both feet on the ground when you're sitting down. And now you might ease into, crossing your legs. I got that. But a good place to begin sitting down is both feet on the ground, sitting up just like Mom told us to do that, and to keep our hands on the table so that you can gesture and your shoulders kind of go back naturally. All right? Anything else about that? Check out now that you have the knowledge, check out two things. One is check out people, maybe go on YouTube or check out people on, I wish it was during the campaign, because it's so much good stuff to kind of break apart. Just kind of check that out, but check it out on two different ways. One is from learning. I'm looking at this from a learning piece. The second is check out how do you feel when you look at that. I feel great. I feel engaged. I feel connected. I feel, or whatever. And you want to come up with your own style, but this is in communication. It is not about you. It is not. It's all about the other person. And it's all about them getting whatever they need to get. And it's about me making that happen, even though I might not want to, or like to, or anything like that. It's all about them. So when we joke about not feeling good standing up, it's not about how you feel. It's about how do you come across. You're going to get your message across, or you're going to connect. It's all about that. All right? Yeah.
Does anyone here do yoga?
Yes, I'm a yoga instructor.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, no, that's mountain pose. I just
Yeah, it is mountain pose.
yoga, and that is such a great posture to practice during the day. I think you feel good about it. We're talking about not being comfortable in that position, switching into it, but that's something we should all be practicing anyway, right?
And I'm going to add something else to the yoga pose, the mountain, is that if you put your palms out, this goes back.
Where is that the mountain pose?
Yeah, mountain pose is exactly like this, but if you put your palms out, it's like kind of a natural, your shoulders go back. So, and with the hands, I don't know, it just kind of goes this way, about that. So, FYI. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. All right, so those are the physical skills. It's the eyes, the volume, stance. Anything else about that? Yeah.
I'm thinking of a speaker like Joyce Myers, where she also has a stage, and she's physically moving from one spot to another. How often is she pacing herself to do that?
I don't know Joyce Myers, but I do know you're talking about somebody speaking in front of a large group. Yeah.
And on stage.
Yeah. The downside, there's a lot of conversation about movement. My thought is that if you move, you have a reason. And then you have a reason, and then you stop and you do your, whatever you're gonna do, and then you move, and then you stop and you do your other thing. Because if not, you get hung up in this pacing, you, the audience, gets hung up in this pacing back and forth. Also, sometimes what happens is that when I'm doing this on purpose, when I'm pacing, I'm not looking at anybody. So I am really kind of inward, and I'm having this conversation literally to myself, and I'm not connecting. If you move, make sure that there's still this connection, and then just stop and continue. Because you might choose, you know, this is the place to be right now, or this is the place. Now, if I went here, I want to be really conscious that I want to make sure that Tracy sees me. I have to be conscious of that. I have to be conscious that you're going to see me. I have to move because they're not in my range. All right, so where are they in my range? Here. So it's easier for me. I don't have to think twice about connecting. The other thing, this is just a little sidebar, is when using like a projector or a flip chart or anything like that, the suggestion is, in best practice, is that you stand to the left of it. Right here, the left. You might think, why? Because in our culture, we read left to right. So your eyes start with me. I'm the center of this show, believe it or not. This is not, meaning I'm the center, this is an addendum, all right? So your eyes start here, your eyes come over here, and like an old-fashioned typewriter, they come back to me. Now, is this a bad place? No, but it's just one, it's just, you know, everything is all granular. Is this just a little bit better over here? Yeah. And that's the reason why, is that we read left to right, so this is a good place to be. And it's just easier for me also to use a more kind of gestalt here. Okay?
Well,
Yeah.
and for right now, we on this side can see the board.
Yeah, if I was over there, you couldn't see.
You're over there, we don't see it as much. So I
Yeah.
know you just have it just for little quick notes, but if you're using it more intensely, it's more visual.
Absolutely. And that's the other thing, if I was doing a projector, you might say, well, I want to be closer to my laptop here. Well, there's a whole bunch of people who can't see. So come on back. And if that means that you need to walk a little bit, walk. And you do it in silence, of course, because you don't talk unless you see somebody. And so silence is okay. All right. Okay, so we're done. Or anything here? Anything more here? If anything comes up, let me know. You're going to practice this again. Yeah.
I have a question about, a lot of people have habits of looking up
Mm-hmm.
and around, and to me that's distracting. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, there's theories about why we do that. One of it, if you're familiar with neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, people who look up are more visual learners, things like that. However, all right, so that's, however, if you look up, just do it in silence, because usually when they're looking up, they're talking. They're talking to the screen. And what might feel irritating to you is that they're not connecting to anybody. So if you have to look up, get it. If you have to look down, just pick up your head and start talking and connecting. So that's why I like that little rule of, unless I see somebody's face or their eyes, I don't talk. All right?
Okay.
Yeah.
In our group, when we broke out into groups, a lot of us get, it shows that you're physically nervous. Red face, blotchy, red ears, whatever. So when you're starting out, do you somehow turn that into a positive for yourself? Say, hey, I'm up here, I get really passionate about what I'm talking about, and sometimes you'll see me get a little flushed about it. I mean, is there a reason to draw attention to that, or do you just let people say, oh my gosh, she's getting a red face and embarrassed, or do you try to kind of mention that when it happens? I don't know.
Deep breath before you speak.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It really helps.
For me, I try not to bring attention to my shortcomings.
Right.
And because once I bring attention to that, then that's what they're going to be looking for. I'm just saying, and I got a lot of shortcomings that I hope that you haven't picked up. But once I bring that up, now that becomes the story. So that's one thing. Now, it's also in delivery. So if there are times when I'm teaching a class and something happens, a little flush here and there, I might, many times you think it's noticeable and it's really not. You feel hot, but nobody else is getting that at all. You're getting it. sometimes I will say, many, many years ago, well, not that many years ago, but I did say something about a little redness and flush, and I was with teaching a class of all men, and they all stopped and they said, oh, my wife's like, it's like, I get it, do you want a fan? I mean, they were very, very helpful, because they were all around my age, and they were there, they got it. That doesn't happen if I'm with 20-year-olds. Right? What's wrong with you, lady? But I think it's really up to you. However, I wouldn't want that to be a crutch. Like, if I tell people that I'm a little nervous, everything will be fine. Right. And it's not. Then they're going to look for your nervousness.
Got it.
Yeah. So kind of eat that up a little bit, and always keep a smile. And I was one thing that I used to do, and I do sometimes now too, is I do have a mantra that's not a religious mantra. I would say in my head, it's showtime, and when I say showtime, slap comes up, I just kind of, it's showtime, and I'm there. And so for you, it might be another word. It might be whatever.
It's Joe time.
It's Joe. It's Joe time. But it might be another word that you just kind of switch. Okay, got it. I'm in that place now. And that eventually I'll be in that place where I don't have to think about it.